One thing about coming to study in China is you have to look out for yourself. In as much as you are studying, coming to the hospital, whether you're a medical student or a postgraduate student, you have to put in the work, twice the energy, twice the work, because if you just come in the name of China or things are gonna be easy, it's never like that. Because the first reason is this is a non-speaking English country. So because of that, you have the language barrier. So because of that, you need to work hard. You need to be enthusiastic about school, because I know at home, like if you studied at the universities at home, the teachers will push you and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But then if you come to China, if you don't create a relationship with your teacher, a good student-professor relationship with
twizachard, she's got the spark, lighting up the screen, a vision so stark. With every click comes a brand new trick. She's the queen of the digital flick. Hey, 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 it's Twiz's world. We're just rolling through it, girl. Hey, 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 she's the vibe, setting the tone, she's the drive.
So hey guys, I just finished eating. I was having a break, then I started eating. I carried pasta and chicken that I cooked 2 days ago when I had my friends over at my place. So right now, I'm just thinking through my life. So then I decided to talk to you guys. Well, before this, I finished making a question bank of neurosurgery. One thing about coming to study in China is you have to look out for yourself. In as much as you are studying, coming to the hospital, whether you're a medical student or a postgraduate student, you have to put in the work, twice the energy, twice the work, because if you just come in the name of China or things are gonna be easy, it's never like that. Because the first reason is this is a non-speaking English country. So because of that, you have the language barrier. So because of that, you need to work hard. You need to be enthusiastic about school, because I know at home, like if you studied at the universities at home, the teachers will push you and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But then if you come to China, if you don't create a relationship with your teacher, a good student-professor relationship where you ask questions, you're enthusiastic, you show up on time, you're punctual, you answer questions, or you ask questions, no teacher is going to give you attention, because even them, they're scared of talking to you as much because their English is not that good, So yeah, so right now I was just thinking through my life. At times I question my life choices, thinking, was doing masters the right thing, I know maybe, yes, it was the right thing, but at times I get tired. I'm human, I have feelings, I think through my life. At times I just get tired. Yes, I'm an enthusiastic person, but at times my energy drains. It's the same thing as your phone. You charge your phone to 100% and then the battery keeps on decreasing, and next thing is at 1%, then you have to charge it again. That's the way I feel, or I take my life, So right now I created a question bank, in as much as, one thing I noticed is in China, we have a lot of surgeries, you know. We always have surgeries back to back. So your surgery part of your life is okay because you have so many cases, and here patients rarely die, you know. From surgeries, they rarely die because they have a good surgery system, you know. So you get exposed to like a lot of surgeries, and the doctors let you attend them, and you can ask if you want to scrub in, or if you do have a good relationship, get their WeChats, they will, and like reach out to them. And if you make yourself known, they'll always reach out to you saying, oh, Jolly, Twiza, there's a surgery here, you come. Or Twiza, there's this surgery here, you come, you know.
特别是那种鼻咽癌引起的我们这个血管狭窄，就血管发展比较长。因为刚开始这个东西我倒是真的我。
So I just downloaded a paper on 60th cranial nerve palsy and trigeminal neuropathic pain due to a space occupying lesion. So I specifically downloaded this paper because pause. Look down. Yes, you. I'm talking to you. Look down there. You are not subscribed, and neither are 80% of the people that watch my videos. So please subscribe before you continue watching this video. Bye. I specifically downloaded this paper because we have a rare case of a patient who had a space occupying lesion. We did surgery on the patient, but then ever since we did the surgery on him, he hasn't been able to rotate his right eye, right? It can't rotate outward, like the way you look left, then you look right, but then only this one is like rotating left and right, but this one can only rotate this direction but can't rotate that direction. And the nerve in charge of that is the abducens nerve, right? So the abducens nerve is the one that helps your eyes to go left and right. Then the oculomotor helps your eyes rotate, you know. So yeah, and then because that's like a patient that we don't know what's causing that, and the patient has been like that for like, I think the patient has had the surgery 5 days ago, if I'm not mistaken, and it's not fixing itself. Normally it's supposed to fix itself, right? Sometimes if it does happen, it's supposed to fix itself, but then it's not fixing itself, and the patient can be experiencing nerve palsy, you know, but we're not yet sure. So then the doctor my professor told me that he has contacted an ophthalmologist to ask what he can do, because usually it's supposed to resolve itself, or you can do surgery, but then he's not yet sure, you know. So then he asked for like assistance from an ophthalmologist. So I just hope like things get better. So because in my department we are always supposed to present our progress report and a journal. So last week Tuesday I presented my progress report. I'm sure maybe you saw it in my previous video. No, I didn't even film like myself, but I filmed like other reports. And then next week I'm supposed to present the journal. So that's the paper I want to write up, I want to present about. And I sent the document to my professor if he can approve it, if I can talk about this next week, and he said yeah. So yeah, bye bye. Oh, this is all the work I've done so far. I've only made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 slides, but don't mind this, I'll still edit it because I wanted it to be like color coordinated according to the file. Then I'm done with this one, then I'm done with the pictures. I had to duplicate this horizontal line and then turn it in that way. Then I put the 4 pictures, then I'm done with the abstract. So I will come back to this later then I'm going back home because this is now 4 p.m. Yeah, this is now 4 p.m. So I need to go back home and freshen up. I'm exhausted. I just arrived home. These things are going to the UK. Somebody bought parcels. Sorry, somebody bought hair. Then I put buns for them. Yeah. And I'm also sending these parcels. I bought this for my grandfather. These are drips. This is for his hospital. I surprised him and bought him these. Then I also bought him the clothes to wear in surgery with the hospital logos. He was so happy. And medical supplies, you know. And then of course the stereo, if that's what you're thinking, because they're not opened yet. So yeah, but I bought like a lot of stuff. I don't know, need to take time for me to like write everything. So yeah, because the Kwaidi man is here. Bye bye. Hey guys, so I just finished doing my assignment. I'm supposed to present on Tuesday. Every Tuesday, not every week, but every after 2 weeks we have presentations, and then there are people assigned. And then for me, I'm supposed to do a journal this time, to present a journal. Yeah, and I filmed like a video when I was at the hospital and I started, but now I've finally done it. Guys, I've been so exhausted. I feel like I live in this house, but it's just like a place I come to sleep, because each time I come I'm very tired and like I have to eat, then I watch like a bit of TV, then I have to study, then I have to sleep, you know. So yeah, and then I just made some noodles. Let me show you the instant noodles I made. It says that I've eaten like part of it. Let me just show you. See, I just made some instant noodles. I don't know if you can see. I like fried an egg. Then this is the soup of it. Yeah, I have cooked chicken, but I don't know. I don't feel like eating it because that's what I ate like the past 2 days, and like I'm just so tired, you know. So I just made instant noodles. And then why I'm making this video is because I was seated here and I was watching like things about coffee, because I don't take coffee. I consume a lot of tea than coffee, because I've just never been like a coffee fan, you know, like somebody that loves coffee, you know. I don't know, guys, this just shows like how it's a weekend and like I'm just so uninterested to do anything. But yeah, so I was watching a documentary about coffee while I was cooking, and yeah, I just learned like different types of coffees. Please let me know if you like experience this thing that I also experienced. When I take coffee, my tummy hurts a lot because I don't consume coffee, you know. So then when I take like pure coffee, it hurts a lot. Unless maybe if like I mix coffee with a bit of milk, or just a bit of coffee and a lot of milk, then I feel better, you know. I'm learning on how to take coffee. I just recently started like buying Starbucks, because like my doctor would buy a Starbucks during meetings, and I didn't like coffee, so I started like taking it slowly. But now I think it's actually good, you know, but not the original coffees like that I can take. Yeah, that I can take. Then right now I'm watching a documentary on Mazoe, guys. I grew up in a home where my mom would buy Mazoe all the time, so I actually love Mazoe. Like that's a juice that I always used to carry at school, you know, the time I was at day school and the time I went to boarding school. Like Mazoe has raised me up, so I'm so happy to see a documentary about Mazoe, like a food documentary about Mazoe. I feel, you know, like I was talking to somebody and I was telling them about how our museum in Lusaka, the minister of tourism, that department, they should really work hard on like advertising so many places in Lusaka, in Zambia. You know, there's so many beautiful places, but they don't get enough publicity. Even the museum, like I remember, I think I was once there, maybe like in 2013 when I was in grade 7. But then there weren't like much stuff. But then we used to like pay to enter. I think like 500 kwacha back before that, before they like changed the currency. And then when I went in like 2019 or 2018, I found that they like changed it. Even those famous people, the Mylon brothers, if you know the Mylon brothers, the brothers that used to kill and whatnot, their stuff were like in the museum, and like so many things changed. But in our museum, I remember it says don't take pictures, don't film, something like that. I feel like they should encourage a lot of people to actually go see the museum, because we live in Lusaka, but not many people have gone to the museum, you know. So basically what I'm just trying to state is that the Ministry of Tourism, they should advertise our tourism places so much, not just the museum. But like, I went to a boarding school, I was at Lutkila. Each time I would go to Lutkila, imagine I was there for 5 years. Each time I would travel, I would see the Muchinga escarpment. But do you find any content about the Muchinga escarpment? No. There's also Shwangandu, right? I've seen like a little bit of content about Shwangandu, but not like proper vlogs, not like proper videos about Shwangandu. There are like so many places to go to in Zambia, you know, like so many places, but everybody just knows Livingstone. Everybody just knows the Victoria Falls. Like even with our local people, they rarely go. And you know, like somebody was telling me about the Copper Belt, about the northern province, you know. The Copper Belt has, of course, the mining side of it, but like the point they stated to me was the fact that the Copper Belt has no cinema. It has no cinema, but it's full of mining stuff, and there are people who are living there, you know. Why can't it have a cinema? Something as simple as a cinema. But Lusaka has malls, has cinemas. I don't know how many cinemas are there now, but like has malls, has shopping centers, you know, has roads. But what's happening, you know? I feel like in as much as Lusaka is improving, the whole of Zambia should improve equally.